Welcome to the Global Ventures podcast. My name is Ryan Lilly, and I'm the program manager for Global Ventures here at the Research Park at Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton, Florida. If you're not familiar with us, Global Ventures is a program which is designed to assist second stage technology companies in scaling up to become successful here in South Florida. We're also a soft landings designated incubator, which means that we specialize in assisting international technology companies looking to scale up here in the U.S. market. Today, we serve 34 companies from 11 different countries around the globe. We help companies through collaboration with researchers here at FAU, access to talented student interns, connections to our local network of business service providers, and through strategic introductions to potential customers, partners, and more. We really become an extension of your company's business development team. This podcast is meant to tell the stories of the companies that we're serving and to provide encouragement to those of you out there listening who may be considering doing the same. Maybe you're an entrepreneur looking to scale to the next level of growth, and maybe you're an international entrepreneur looking to enter the U.S. market for the first time. Today, I'm very excited to welcome our very first guest to the podcast, Juan Camilo Velez Johnson with Basica. Welcome, Juan.
Thank you, Ryan. Glad to be here, and thank you for having us here in the ecosystem and Global Ventures.
Juan, just to kick us right off here, tell us about yourself personally, a little bit about where you grew up, and for those of you who have never been to Colombia, tell us about that place.
Well, I'm the younger of three siblings. I was born after 18 years, so the difference with my sister is a very big one. I was born in Medellin, which is the second city in Colombia. I think everybody knows about Medellin. I love that city. Actually, I used to say that there are three Medellins out there. The one that is in Netflix, probably, that everybody knows it. The second one is that Medellin that every single visitor or every single person who lives there know. I mean, their famous places, their famous malls, neighborhoods, the people. I mean, what everybody says about Medellin. And the third one is that hidden Medellin, which is full of stories about people that decided to forgive our past and to rebuild our city. And I don't know if you're familiar with that, but Medellin was awarded like the most innovative city in the world by the Wall Street Journal and the Citigroup almost 5 years ago. So those stories in the hidden Medellin are the ones that I really love of my city.
So why is it that you think Medellin is such an innovative city? Why? How did it get to be that way?
Well, I mean, when you meet someone from Medellin, you can realize that in 5 minutes of conversation, probably that person will try to sell 3 different things, to invite you to 5 different businesses. And I mean, there is entrepreneurship culture there. I mean, tons of international companies are based there, are headquartering there in Medellin. And yeah, people in Medellin usually said that there is a Spanish saying, but it's something like the markets never ends, that there is always an opportunity to sell something. So I mean, there is a lot of innovation out there.
So a very entrepreneurial mindset
Yes.
among everyone who lives there. That's great. So tell us, Juan, what did you do professionally before you started your company? And did you work for another company? And what sort of led into becoming an entrepreneur for you?
Okay, well, trying to tell my story in a short time, I'm an industrial engineer. I also have an MBA. And I have the luck to work in several companies and in several departments. I'm not really a specialist in a discipline. So when I started to work, my professional life, I started in Procter & Gamble company. There I worked in logistics, financial operations, supply chain, and new business development. I mean, 5 jobs in 4 years there. Then I moved to a company that is dedicated to print security documents like lottery tickets, credit cards. I was in charge of the operations there, and then I've moved to sales department. And finally, I worked as well in the Medellin City Hall. I used to work in the economic development secretary for the Medellin City Hall. And that's my corporate life. But Ryan, let me say that I've started almost 10 businesses in my life.
Wow. I did not know that. I did not know you had 10 businesses.
Yeah, I did. I mean, women, underwear, jewelry, fashion. I did a couple of restaurants, consultancy, and now my 13 years old entrepreneurship, which is Basica, the one that you know here in Global Ventures.
So how did you go from that sort of corporate life, a big company like Procter & Gamble, and then you were in city government? How did you go from that to starting 10 companies and being an entrepreneur?
Well, my whole life, I combined my activities. I always have a job. I always had a job, and also an own business. And the way I started to think about the entrepreneurship or running my own business was, you don't believe it, in multi-level marketing. I started selling Herbalife.
A lot of people start out that way.
Yeah, 20 years ago, it was fantastic. It was a very, very enrichment experience. I loved that company. I don't do that business anymore. But wow, the things that I've learned there was, I mean, it shaped my mind, my spirit, my strength to start my business.
That's great. That's great. So Juan, tell me about Basica specifically. What led you to start Basica, and what problem were you trying to solve?
Well, it was a very philosophical conversation with my partners several years ago. We could see that the way we're doing businesses right now is not the correct one. Our planet's getting hot. There are 600 million people still hungry. There's a lot of geopolitical situations that we shouldn't be proud of. That's not the correct way. So thinking about business growing and only put my product in the market were not the correct way. So we started to try connecting brands and businesses with people and audiences, trying to them to transform each other and to improve the world. So we're very attached to the United Nations sustainable objectives. Mm-hmm. And that's what we do. We try to put the 18 United Nations objectives into the company's way of marketing to improve the world. So that was what we identified out there in the market, and we started to put our 100 years accumulated experience in marketing, technology, and design, trying to drive a very good service, a one-stop shopping for marketers in companies to do a better marketing.
Very good. So that company was growing, Basica was growing in Colombia, and then tell us about the decision to come to the U.S. and was that a scary decision? And what helped you along the way?
Well, we started our internationalization program 8 years ago when we opened our office in Ecuador. Um, that's that's a very powerful reason thinking in Ecuador to open our second operation because of the currency. I mean, Ecuador used the US dollar as a currency, and we were trying to start growing a business in a strong currency. Then, I mean, a lot of things have happened during these 7 years, but we tried to open in Mexico, Brazil, Panama, Costa Rica, um, and even Spain. But we didn't good very well, and we closed all those operations. And capitalizing the learnings from those tries, we decided that one of us should come to the U.S. to personally take charge to open the company. So it was scary. It was scary when I told my wife, okay, pack your clothing, take the girl, and we're moving to the United States. It was scary, but I mean, we do it in a very organized and a very planned way. So it's been wonderful this recent year that we are trying to expand our business here.
So I know a great partner of ours here at Global Ventures is Hey, the Hispanic Entrepreneur Initiative, Marisol and Yulimar. And I think they introduced you to us. You also worked, I think, through Pro Colombia. Were there organizations like that helped you get to here?
Well, yes. You definitely need help when you are opening a new market for your company. Either you know it or not. I mean, I'm a foreign person. I'm trying to bring a new idea to this market. And yeah, we leveraged in those kind of organizations like Pro Colombia, which when the first door I knocked when I get here, they introduced us to Hey, and I had the pleasure to meet Marisol and Yulimar. And they introduced me to yourselves.
Very good, very good. So tell us more about Basica, the specific sort of services that you offer, and what kind of solutions do you provide to customers?
Well, Basica is a very wide company. We do a lot of things, but we are very focused on what I was saying, connecting brands with their customers. So the first thing for you to connect with someone is to know him, to go deep in that person or in that customer to understand their whole context. So we have a research unit that provides those kind of services to companies through anthropologists, interviews, psychologists, sociologists, all those social sciences to produce context around a customer or a community or a market.
So customer discovery, basically.
Correct. And then we use artificial intelligence to scrap the conversations that come up in social media to understand as well what are those people talking about in social media and the internet. We put them together and we can deliver a very clear picture of our company's market or of a company's target marketing.
And so this is really your sort of secret sauce, is your ability to use AI as part of that customer discovery process.
Correct, it is. We've been working a lot of time trying to shape that algorithms very well to produce very valuable information, and we're doing very good. The second thing that we do is to help companies to solve their challenge that using the regular tools cannot be solved. I mean, I've met tons of executives that do the same recipe over and over again, trying to solve a problem, and the solution never comes. What we do is to use the human-centered design to understand the problem, put together several tools that were launched by Stanford University 10 years ago, Several companies have grown using those tools like IDEO or Frog Design. So we have like a little IDEO inside our company to help companies to solve problems. So we can design products, services, brands. We can design even brick and mortar stores. Everything that can be solved with that designing process, we can do it. And the third thing that we do is to help companies to develop their e-commerces. We are one of the 2 certified Shopify Plus companies in Colombia. I understand there is only 125 here in the US, and we are very expert in e-commerce. So we help companies not only to develop this store, but also to start taking new customers and retaining the current customers to increase or to grow the business.
So one of the really interesting e-commerce algorithms that I think you've developed is, and I kind of use this analogy when I'm sometimes touring companies around the building, is that when I purchase a product on a large e-commerce site, sometimes at the bottom it'll recommend complementary products. It'll say, customers who purchased this also bought this item. And one of the algorithms that you've developed for users on Shopify is the ability to bundle similar products. So if your algorithm senses that someone is buying this product A and they're also consistently buying these other products, you can actually bundle them together. And I think that's a really cool algorithm.
Yes. The math is very complex, but what we do with the algorithm is to analyze all your transactions and to predict which pair or which 3 products you can combine into one SKU and sell it as a unique product. You don't have to reduce the price, you don't have to make promotions, you don't have to make offers, and the potential of that new SKU to become into your top 5 sold products is higher than 80%. Actually, 100% of our bundle recommendation have become into the top 5 sold products in more than 15 stores that we manage.
Wow, that's so impressive. So tell us, who's the target customer? Who is the ideal customer that you try to reach? And maybe for people who are listening to this, maybe they know someone, or maybe they are a potential customer themselves. But who are you targeting?
Well, when we moved here, we analyzed that there are 40 million small and medium businesses here in the United States. Almost as many businesses as people in Colombia. So it is a huge market, and we are very focused on small and medium businesses to help them to scale. Doing, as I said, a better marketing, the marketing that really improved the world. And we are looking for those kind of customers in several industries. We are a multi-industry company. During the last 5 years, we've done more than 1,000 projects, and in more than 40 industries. We are very focused on consumer goods, services. We are also doing very good in food and beverages. Several industries. And also, if you are planning to develop an e-commerce, or you currently have an e-commerce and you want to scale it or to grow it, and you think that the things are not doing very good, or things could be better, you are the kind of customers that we are looking for, and probably we can help you with a very, very high quality service.
Particularly if you're on Shopify.
Of course. Yeah, we work only with Shopify. We can help with other platforms, but our specialty is Shopify. As I said, we are Shopify Plus partner certified.
So Juan, tell us, how are people finding out about you? How do you market yourself? Obviously, I know that you get a lot of referrals from your past customers, but how are you getting the word out there about your services?
What we are doing is what we do best, which is digital marketing. So probably you're gonna see an ad of Basica or our platform Basica Magnet out there in Instagram or LinkedIn. Um, if you see that ad, just fill that form, and I'll be glad to reach you out to help you with your projects. Also, we have our website, which is www.basica.us. And also, you can find us in all social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. Mm, I'm doing a lot of, as you said, referrals. That's the way that we are growing fast here. And probably if one of you guys that are listening to this podcast, if you guys want to refer us to any of your close people, we are more than glad to help them.
Wonderful. So tell us one, again, with the idea that the people listening are maybe entrepreneurs themselves, they may be international entrepreneurs. What's the biggest lesson that you've learned as an entrepreneur who's new to the U.S.? What advice would you give someone else starting a business here, and maybe what would you have done differently?
Well, that's a good one. I would have done three things differently. First, I would have done more things from Colombia before traveling.
Laying more groundwork in Colombia before coming.
Yes, there are a lot of things that you can, get done from your original country. Like, opening the company, doing some paperwork, incorporating it into the IRS. Several things that you can even reach out potential customers. You can do it from your country. So the more things that you can do before you travel, the better. You're going to save time, you're going to save money, and you're going to increase your probability of success. Second thing is if you are a foreign person, don't come if you don't have an immigration plan. You have to get that thing solved. Don't come if you don't have the clarity after very strong research with an immigration lawyer that tell you that you have the possibility or that you can apply to one of the legal status here to do businesses. That's the second thing. I did it very good since the beginning. I had several conditions that allowed me to have my status to do business here, and that's a thing that you don't come if you don't have it. And the third thing I would have recommend is to ask more questions. I'm very confident. I trust in people a lot, and I'm not naive, but if I would have asked more, I would have collected more information and make better decisions. So asking questions, it's an ability that you have to develop before you come here. And while you stay here, ask questions. When you're coming, you think that people in the U.S. is different. They're different, of course. It's another country, but it's people just like you trying to pursue their happiness, and don't be afraid to ask questions. That's my 3 key learnings of my first 3-4 months here.
So Juan, to your first point about doing research beforehand, just a shameless plug for Global Ventures, is that we do offer a virtual program for companies who are in that transitionary stage of moving to the U.S. Our virtual program is meant for 6 to 12 months while companies are sort of exploring the U.S. market and getting set up here. We hold Zoom meetings with those companies. Obviously, we communicate a lot over email, but the virtual is important there. And then you mentioned working in terms of immigration. We have a great network of immigration attorneys who we work with as well, and certainly refer out to them a lot. So those are excellent points. So
yeah, sorry, Ryan. I mean, those are the three things that probably you should, I mean, those are a must. But things that I would have done again was to reach out those kind of allies like ProColombia, Hey, and also you. I mean, being here at Global Ventures have been one of my wisest decisions after coming here to the US. I mean, the tools, the things that you can uh, do for a company like us um, are valueless. I mean, priceless.
Very good. Well, it's always very humbling to hear that. So that's great to hear. And really, it's the team that's here at Global Ventures. You know, it's Andrew, our Research Park president, and Jackie, and our friends at the Small Business Development Center who we work with closely. And it's a great team that is here to serve you.
It is.
So, Juan, just to kind of start to wrap up here, tell us where you think your business will be 5 years from now. What vision do you have for Basica here in the U.S.? What do you think the business is going to look like in 5 years in terms of your staff and the geographic area that you're serving?
There is one thing that came up to my mind right now about Global Ventures and how you guys helped us here. I mean, it wasn't you directly, but being in this ecosystem is the thing that really helped me in that situation. When I got here, a customer reached me out through an email, and he asked for a proposal. We do branding. We design brands for companies, and we submit the proposal, and that customer accepted our proposal, and we start working together. I mean, I sent the contract, and she sent me the money in advance. If I wouldn't been here, I would have been scammed. I mean, colleagues and other entrepreneurs here opened my eyes and told me, take care, that's a scam for sure. And I was almost to get in trouble with the police or someone in the law enforcement. And also I would have lost a lot of money if I would have moved forward with that business. After that, after we spoke with some of my partners here, I called to the bank and they confirmed the check was a bad one. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's a great point that the other companies who are here in Global Ventures are also, you know, part of that mentoring as well, and that they're giving you advice as you go along.
Yes. And as your wrapping up question, I mean, we were talking with my partners planning the 2022, and we are a medium company. We are a $4 million company. Most of that business is coming from Colombia and Ecuador. We have a group of 100 employees, and that's a big deal. But we are thinking that in 5 years, 80% of our business should come from the U.S. So probably in 5 years, we will be $16, $15 million company, probably having a group of people of 150, 200 people working with us here in the U.S.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's really exciting. And then we can all say that we knew Juan when. We knew you back in 2022 when you were still somewhat new to the U.S. So Juan, tell us one more time your website. You mentioned it earlier, but your website and how people can get in contact with you if they'd like to learn more about Basica.
Yes, we have our website, which is www.basica.us. You can drop us a line in our website, and I will be more than glad to contact you. Even if you want to reach me out through my email is juan.velez@basica.us.
Thank you so much, Juan. It's great to have you as our very first guest here today. Just in wrapping up myself, I want to thank a few people. Thank you to James Faris with ReachLink and to Rob Kennedy from Daruma Tech in helping put this podcast room together. A very high-tech room that we're able to take advantage of here. And also thanks to Carla, our audio engineer today for all that she's doing here. So if you're interested in learning more about Global Ventures, please head to globalventuresfau.org. Again, globalventuresfau.org. If you're a company, whether you're a second stage company here in the U.S., or maybe you're one like Juan, who's overseas right now, we'd be honored to serve you and help connect you any way that we can here in our ecosystem. So thank you so much for listening to the Global Ventures podcast. We'll see you next time.